Warning. Censorship. Warning.
This is what these lockdowns do. They strip us of our humanity. They break down community and they destroy the country we fought for, the country we love, the values we cherish. It's been greatly encouraging to see the turnout today sort of campaigning for the freedom of the people. Look, a generation ago, our mothers and fathers fought and died to preserve our freedoms. You know, a generation ago we thought it was worth sacrificing millions of lives for the sake of preserving those freedoms. Now we throw away those freedoms for the sake of preserving lives, presumably. Look, when I was a boy, I was growing up, the Vietnam War was going on, and I assumed it would go on forever. I assumed when I turned 18 that I would have to, the name would go in the lottery and I may have to go and fight the good fight in South Vietnam. Thank God I didn't, but my dad was very much in favour of conscription. He explained to me that it is important that we stand up because this country was founded on democratic principles that enshrine certain freedoms, and we don't want to live in a country where they can tell you, you can't go to church on Sunday. We don't want to live in a country where they have electronic surveillance on you, where they can tell you when you come in and when you go out, if you can go to work, who you can associate with. You know, whether you're able to embrace people. I mean, God, it wasn't even that extreme, I don't think. But, you know, the so-called communist menace at the time was going to deprive us of all these rights. And so it was only appropriate that we got up and we fought and we died if we had to, for the sake of preserving those freedoms. What happened? I mean, the narrative changed is what's happened all of a sudden. I mean, there's still a war, but now we're all banding together to fight the virus. That's supposedly it, isn't it? You know, once that war's won, everything will go back to normal and all the small businesses will bounce back and people will get their jobs again and all those who've suicided will be resurrected and we'll forget what social distancing was. We'll all be so happy embracing each other. Yeah, I don't see it happening, do you? Truth is, I don't doubt that the virus is deadly. I've lost a good friend to the virus, not in Syria, not in Australia. I've known 7 people who've suicided over this period. You know, one good mate in my boxing club who went to see his dad and found he'd hanged himself. You know, how many stories there are like this. The other side, the real cost of the lockdowns. I've never believed that what is driving government policy is primarily a concern for our health. If it was, there would be more account taken at the other side of that equation, of the cost of the lockdowns, the cost on mental health, the cost on jobs, the rise in domestic violence, all the associated ills, which the government will never be held responsible for, but which are real and which are damaging and which are destroying us and destroying our community. You know, in the Hebrew Bible, I think the word bazar, skin, the skin is what makes us human because we can touch each other. You know, if we can't touch each other, can we be fully human? And I think this is what these lockdowns do. They strip us of our humanity. They break down community and they destroy the country we fought for, the country we love, the values we cherish. We need to stand up and fight, not violently, but we need to be ready to have violence done to us, I suspect, by police and others. We've got to be ready to count the cost, as our mothers and our fathers did when they fought to give us these freedoms. It's time for us now to stand up and fight to preserve them.
Wow, that is one of the most powerful interviews I have seen at any lockdown protests around the world, and I think everybody needs to share it far and wide because that is the kind of face that the mainstream media will never show when reporting at these lockdown protests. It doesn't suit their narrative. Somebody speaking so articulately, a community leader making the case against lockdowns, against a narrative that the mainstream media keeps pushing so eloquently. Nah, you'll never see it. And that's why we're here at Rebel News. And if you want to ensure that you can see these reports, even when they ban us from all the mainstream platforms, make sure to sign up to yaminireport.com. We'll continue to send our people out to the streets to bring you the other side of the story. And so we can bring it to you, no matter what, directly to your inbox. Sign up to yaminireport.com right now.